Remember a story we covered of a cop who decided to kick a handcuffed man in the face? Well, that cop has been indicted. Let me remind you of the video. Here it is.
No, nobody cares what you're saying.
Nobody cares what you do either.
Not really.
You understand that?
Yeah, I'm not the one out here complaining.
No, that was the thing. Nobody cares what you do anymore.
I know, nobody's out here complaining.
Nobody cares what you do anymore. You understand that?
Lean back.
Nobody cares what you do anymore.
Lean back.
I'm gonna lean back with you home myself.
Look. You're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna do this, right?
Stop. You're done.
We're not gonna do this, right?
We're done. You're done.
Put up the picture of the cop who has now been indicted. We first brought you this story when it happened. Jermaine Vaughn was being detained. He was brutalized by Sergeant Eric Huxley. Sergeant Huxley of the Indianapolis Police Department, Metropolitan Police Department, has now been indicted. Let's go to the next still, and you see the foot coming directly down on a man who's already subdued. That is criminal conduct. That is criminal assault. He should have been arrested that day. An Indianapolis police sergeant faces federal charges now after shocking body cam video captured him stomping on a handcuffed homeless man's face as he lay on the ground. Sergeant Eric Huxley, 44 years of age, is a 15-year veteran with the police department, has now been indicted by a federal grand jury for violating the black man's civil rights by using excessive force during the caught on video incident that took place September 24th, 2021. Huxley, who was white, was charged with 1 count of deprivation of rights under the color of law while using a dangerous weapon resulting in bodily injury. Seems as if the charge fits. The sergeant and 2 other officers, Sergeant Christopher Kibbe and Officer Matthew Shores, were trying to arrest Mr. Jermaine Vaughn for disorderly conduct and forced him to the ground as he argued, according to Fox 59. The man on his backside on the ground, looking up at Officer Shores with his hands cuffed behind his back, stated the probable cause affidavit, the news outlet reported. The federal grand jury indictment alleges that Sergeant Huxley used his foot to hit the man without justification. Huxley, who has now been suspended without pay, also faces termination along with local felony charges of battery and official misconduct, according to Fox 59. The city police department and police chief Randall Taylor also face a separate federal lawsuit claiming the 2 other officers who reported Huxley faced retaliation. The station added. Now, let's highlight this for 1 moment. They're saying Huxley ended up being reported. Who do you think reported him? Well, obviously, at least one of the cops who were present, maybe even more. So what's the claim now? The claim is they report a bad cop. They stand up for a citizen of the community. They report criminal behavior of a trusted lawman. What happens to them? They are retaliated against. Wait a minute. I thought the culture of policing was good. I thought there were more good cops than bad cops. You see, if the culture is good and you report misconduct, the culture protects you. The culture will uphold you. The culture will make sure that you have no penalty for simply being a stand-up person. But that's not what the culture of policing has shown us time and time again. Time and time again, when an individual absolutely stands up for right, comes against a cop who decides to become a criminal. When a cop does that, when a cop goes against a cop and reports a bad cop, routinely we hear about the department doing one thing, retaliating against the cop who made the report. Here it is again. All right, the 2 cops have alleged the department accused them of not making a timely report. Get this, not making a timely report and placed them on administrative leave, adding that they were forced to turn in their patrol cars for older models that were determined to be unsafe. They turned in a report late, the cops that reported Sergeant Huxley. They turned in a police report late, according to the allegation, and that was enough to get them suspended. When have you heard this? There are cops that literally shoot unarmed black people in the back and still are at the department, maybe on desk duty. But these individuals who decided to cross that blue line, tell the truth, had retaliation. Here's what has to happen. In order for policing to retain and maybe even gain some level of respect and reputation in communities that distrust them, good cops are going to have to be protected. That's it. There's no other way to do it. You cannot transform that industry without individuals inside of the industry being willing to make a stand. But opportunities like this, scenarios like this, it strikes fear in the hearts of many cops. And so once again, I encourage any police officer, if you think you are a stand-up person, if you see malfeasance in your department, if you see criminal conduct in your department, you know what to do. You contact us right here. We have conversations and connections to many law enforcement officers across the country who have decided to become whistleblowers outside of their agency because they are afraid of who? The police. But I'm not. So make sure, if you are one of the good guys, even if you're a bad guy, you can be a good guy today. Today you can be a good guy, and make sure that what is happening is on record. All right, my dear brother, what are your thoughts here?
It was looking like the police department was going to clear that blue wall of silence that we hear about so often. But it looks like that wall in and of itself is going to surround that officer who was trying to police the police. Let's get back to the victim here right quick, Jermaine Vaughn. He was seated, and you alluded to this earlier, with his hands cuffed behind his back. The initial officer whose body cam footage we're looking at right now already sat him down. What did the additional officer need to put his foot on his face for? And even if Jermaine was being down, what was he going to get up and do? What kind of damage was he going to inflict on himself or the officers or property that someone else would need to come in and put their foot on the person's face when they're defenseless? This is awful. It's getting to a point now that I'm almost glad when an officer is suspended without pay, because beyond that, I have no expectations. I don't think anything's gonna happen beyond that. And so with all that being said, I'm certain that these individuals are going to get cleared somehow. And I'm hoping that's not the case. Dr. Richey, you and your show, you do a good job of trying to keep your fingerprint on situations like this. And I'm hoping that justice will prevail, because these officers gotta go, because this was on body cam. Who knows what we don't see when the cameras aren't on?
Yeah, and I do think, at least as it relates to the federal grand jury indictment, this cop is going to likely plead out rather than go to trial. It's so clear cut as far as the video evidence. As far as local charges, who knows? A lot of times these cats have significant influence over how local judges and the local DA deal with their cases as local cops. So I don't have as much faith there, but possibly the grand jury indictment may tell a different story at the conclusion of this case. We're going to continue to keep everybody updated.